Hello, web Pathfinder. Welcome again. This week in our character, ethics, and value campaign, The Secret of the Top 1%, we're looking at the leadership principle, developing people. Leadership principle, developing people. Leadership is about people. So today, what does it mean to develop? Let's go straight to the point. To develop means to become gradually, not overnight. Gradually fuller, larger, and better. It applies to anything. It can apply to people. People become gradually fuller, larger, and better. It can apply to product become gradually fuller, larger, and better. It can apply to attitude. The attitude become fuller, larger, and better. Life is a process, and we are all involved in developing. We are involved in developing physically, mentally, and spiritually. Okay? Nobody is born developed. We are all born with the potential to develop. So every one of us have the potential to develop. However, when it comes to development of people, attitude is more important than skills. Okay, attitude is what? More important than skill. That's why when you look at hiring a team, okay, hiring untrained person with the right attitude is better than someone who is skilled but it has a rebellious attitude. So when you have people in your organization, the people who are willing, who have the attitude to grow, are more important than people that think that they know it all and they have that attitude. Why is it so? The trained person with an attitude think he knows everything and could have a problem adapting to the team, adapting to the organization. Okay, his skill may be good, he might be very good in what he does, but he has prideful attitude, okay, which may result to a problem. So attitude always is more important than skill, because we need to be humble in order for us to be teachable. This is very important. So let's look at one of the most important thing in our development and outcome, okay, the outcome that we have in life. One of the most important thing when it comes to people development, when it comes to people development and our outcome in life and business. What do you think it is? What do you think is the one single most important thing when it comes to people's development? One single most important thing when it comes to people development is our environment. Let's look at some few facts that we all must know, okay, with respect to development and environment. Some few facts we must know. First, growth and development survives only in a conducive environment. Without a conducive environment, growth and development will not survive. So therefore, if you want to grow and develop to reach your potential, you must be in the right environment. Very important. Listen to this. No environment is constantly right for growth. So you can't say that I'm in a perfect environment forever. Environmental changes are usually required as we grow and develop. So you need to change the environment as you grow, because what happens at every point in time, if you are committed to grow, you will outgrow your present environment. So in business, listen to this. Your environment is more important than your age and your experience. I cannot overemphasize this. When it comes to succeeding in business, your environment is more important than your age and your experience. Listen to this. Somebody said, we are a combined average of the 5 people we hang out around the most. We are in attitude, in income, in health. We are a combined average of the 5 people we hang out with the most. There's what they call the law of 6. If you hang out with 5 intelligent persons, you'll become the 6th. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll become the 6th. And of course, if you hang out with 5 idiots, you have the answer. Okay? So the people with whom you habitually associate are called your reference group. And these people determine as much as 95% of your success and your failure. This is from the Harvard research. Okay? The people you habitually associate with, you habitually hang around, they are called your reference group. And these people are responsible. They determine 95% of your success or your failure. So he who tells, okay, he said we can tell the quality of our health, the quality of our attitude, the quality of our income by looking at people that are around us. That's Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said that you can tell the quality of your health, the quality of your income, the quality of your attitude by looking at the people around you. So you are the same today that you are going to be in 5 years from now, except for 2 things. The people with whom you associate and the book you read. So the book is part of your environment. That's Charles Jones. So why is environment so important? Our environment is not our physical location. It's not even a question of the people but it's the values, it's the principle, it's the attitude, it's the knowledge, okay, it's the mindset that we are exposed to by the people that surround us. That's why, book can be part of your environment, okay, because it's about the attitude, it's about the principle, it's about the mindset, okay, that you associate with yourself. This is why we must practice the principle of selective listening. What is the principle of selective listening? Only listening to the voice of value. This is very important. Therefore, your first step towards success in life and business is to refuse to be captive of any environment that you first find yourself. Refuse to be a captive of any environment, okay, you first find yourself. This is very important. So there are two categories of environment that are very important in our outcome in life, any outcome in life. The first is the environment with which you are born and nurtured. And the second is the environment we choose for ourselves. Two environments. The ones we are born, you don't have control over that. And the one you choose when you become of age, the environment you choose. Your first environment is not under your control. I've often said that the things that impact our life are not so much of the things that are not under our control. They are things that are under our control. So the first environment is not your choice. It's the hands that fed you. Okay, how you were treated, how well things were, you were taught, how well you were taught, the things you were taught, the value you were taught. These are going to affect your outcome in life. This is very important. At those early life, okay, our life is like a raw material, okay, that can be shaped and molded into almost anything. Somebody said, our first 8 years, okay, of our lives will determine much of our future because, okay, they pattern our lives, okay, it suggests that the pattern we develop in life. Of course, we can change, we can make a decision for ourselves afterwards, but our past, this first environment, okay, often influence, okay, the decisions we make. Our past often influence what we do. The second environment which we choose for ourselves, okay, is even more critical because we are responsible for this choice. We can choose our environment. Remember I said that one of the number one rule of success, don't be a captive of the first environment that you find yourself. So our first environment, if it's good, it's going to impact, okay, what happened to us. But if our first environment, if it's negative, if it's distorted, we still have an opportunity to choose or create a new one that will determine the person that we want to become. We have a responsibility to choose the environment. So it's very important that we are aware of the environment we are creating and change it if we know that it's not going to lead us to where we are going to. A new environment will give us a new standard. It will give us a new pattern of life. It will give us a new paradigm shift. It will give us a chance to develop into our own potential. So environment is very important. So our environment is so powerful. Why is it so? The mind or the spirit of a man is like a seed. When you put a seed, okay, a seed will determine the potential. A seed is the life. So when you put a seed in a cold and dry environment, what happens? It will not produce or develop. It will remain dormant. So a lot of people have their potential dormant. Why? Because they are not find themselves in the best environment. If you take that same seed and place it in a warm, moist environment, what happens? Automatically it will grow and it will develop and reach its full potential if the environment remains suitable for growth. So your environment is very important for growth. The same thing is true for human beings. If the environment is right, we grow and mature, producing according to our potential. The principle work for our families, it work for our business, it work for our organization. If the environment is right, what happens? Okay, we produce at our optimum. So how best can you develop your environment? Okay, simply create, how can you develop people rather? How best can you develop people? Simply create the right environment for them. When I mean the right environment, an environment where they will imbibe the right attitude, the right value, the right principle, and develop the right character. That is the environment that is needed for growth. So what are the steps that we need to develop this environment? First and foremost, the step we need. You need to take responsibility always to develop yourself, okay, and people around you. Why is developing yourself so important? You cannot give what you don't have. So we all have our responsibility to develop ourselves, develop our children, develop our employees, develop our nation within the framework of values. Very important. But you can't give what you don't have. That's why it's important that you start with yourself. So by taking responsibility to develop yourself and developing others, what do? You are securing your own future and the future of others. The second step you need to do, you need to have a lifetime vision or what you want your life to be like, what you want your family to be like, what you want your business to be like, the kind of society you want, you want to have, what you think it can become. This is very important. Why is this important? This will help us to determine how we get there and the type of environment we need to get there. So you need to have a vision of where you are going to, what you can become, what your family can become, what your society can become. That helps you determine the kind of value that you need, the kind of environment that you need to get there. The third is study the values of life and determine which values will create the right environment for your goal and your vision. What are the values? It's about values. It's about principles. It's about what you live by. Okay, that's the thing that is going to determine how you end up. So you need to study values of life. That's why we're looking at character, ethics, and values in life, so that we can adopt the right values and be able to create the future that we want. You need to review your values on a regular basis, because your value change as you grow. Okay, if you check your life, the things that used to be important to you 10 years ago are not the things that are important to you today. So you need to check your values as you grow. Very important. 4, examine the past and see if there's a need for paradigm shift to get to your vision. Why? Because our past always influence our action today, which by extension influences our future. So your past have implication on the things you do today, knowing whether you know it or not. So therefore, at every point in time, we must be deliberate to stop, okay, from time to time, and assess and see how our past is influencing what we are doing right now and how it is influencing our future, so that you can deal with it when you think that the influence of your past or your past environment right now in your life is not positive. 5, develop character in people, which is more powerful than ability. You need to develop character in people. Character is more powerful than ability. Why? Character is constant. Ability can change with situation. When you grow older, for example, your ability change. Okay? So character is more powerful. So develop character in people. Establish rules. You need to establish rules. However, you must allow people, the time to dream, to practice, and to experiment. You must allow people to experiment. If they fail, encourage them to try again. In that way, what are you doing? You are developing them without being overprotective or have their weakness reinforced. So you are give them allowance to express themselves, to discover themselves, okay, and live, okay, in freedom. Finally, 7, create the environment, okay, wherever you are, create the environment. How do you do that? In the value that you live by, in the principle that you live by, in the attitude that you live by, and in the character you exhibit and encourage. That's how you make sure that everywhere you find yourself, you create the right environment to grow by your values, by your attitude, by the character you exhibit, and the ones that you encourage. The goal of growth and development is to make contribution to others. The greatest contribution you can make to people around you is to become the best that you can be. Therefore, it's important to think in what direction we want our lives to go, and ensure that we are always improving ourselves, so that we are able to add value to others and create the right environment for other people to grow. As I close, I ask you, why are some people poor and some people rich? Why are some people successful in business and others are unsuccessful? Why are some nations poor and underdeveloped and others are developed? The answer is as a result of wrong paradigms, wrong mindset, wrong values. We develop or create situation, failure or success, by the way we develop ourselves and develop other people. So do you believe in the environment that you find yourself right now? That's the question I ask to you. Do you think that the environment you find yourself today is right and conducive for you to reach your potential? If not, you need to do something about it. Are you creating the right environment for others, okay, to be able to grow and develop? This is where I want to end it today. Your environment is important. I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for listening. If you find this valuable, please share it with people you think that this will interest and this will add to their life. I'm going to see you next week. Have a blessed day and have a blessed week, and see you next week Tuesday by the grace of God. Bye for now.